Hey everyone, it's Karen. Welcome back to my channel, Nobody Karens. If you're just now tuning in, I've been doing a YouTube channel. I have kidney stones that I have been dealing with for over a year now, probably about a year and a half now, that I've been trying to get to surgery. So last video, if you saw it, I had my first surgery, and it was definitely scary because I ended up in ICU. My dog, come on up, there we go. Here, say hi to the camera. Hi, say hi. Hi everyone in YouTube, my name is Suki. So anyways, so I had my last surgery. I was in ICU for a couple days. Everything that my doctor said would happen happened. I basically had a low blood pressure, spiked a fever, and high heart rate, and that sometimes can be that can cause sepsis. So that was a little scary for me and my mom. Of course, my dad was home with Suki, so he didn't exactly know what was going on, and we didn't want to call him in the middle of the night and be like, hey, this is what's happening. So we kind of waited till the next day to tell him. And then I was released from the hospital after, like 5 days, and I had a PICC line, which I showed you. So it was a PICC line. It goes in your vein, through your arm, and into your heart. So, excuse me. So, I had my PICC line. I came home with it, and they have to send out a home care place to check it once a week and to teach you how to flush it, because it can cause blood clots. I mean, it can cause a lot of problems. So there's a lot of pros and cons to having a PICC line. So you have to flush it twice a day. And that's in order to make sure that there's no blood clots and that nothing's like, because you could bleed out basically if it rips out, if the ports come open, anything like that, you can basically just bleed out, because remember that's coming straight from your heart. The facility that came out was Tender Heart Home Care, and they were a great facility. I really loved my nurse Hilda. She was awesome. She came out once a week to check on me. And but here, I'll tell you how they flush it first. So you've heard me talk about saline flushes. So and I can't remember which order this is in. I probably should ask my mom, because she helped me. My mom helped me a lot. I'm not strong in my left hand, and it's really hard to do everything. So my mom had to do everything. So I think what we did first was flush it. So first we take your saline flush and then you flush it. And what the lady did the first time is she like drew back to make sure like it was working properly. So you see a little bit of blood come through, and she told me, you know, you don't have to worry about that. That was the only time we needed to do that. So like I said, so saline flush I believe was first, and you had to do this with each port, so all 3 of them. So you know, you're doing what is that, 6, so 12 a day. Okay, so first you flush it, and then there's this other one called heparin, and this is like a medicine, and it helps from preventing blood clots. So once you flush it, then you have to put this in there, and you do it very slow. So you kind of like super slow, she told us. She's like, don't be in a rush. And it's weird. It's weird with saline, because you can kind of like taste it in the back of your mouth. It's kind of weird, and it's kind of like a rush, like a quick like 2-second rush when it first happens. But yeah, so your flush and then your heparin, and you do that with each one, and you do it day and night. So I had the PICC line for probably I want to say I probably had them for about a month, so through August into September. And September was definitely, or August was challenging as well, besides having that ringing noise you hear is my dog. She's walking around, she's like freaking out. So August was also a little bit hard on us because I go to my post-op to see my urologist, and he says that my insurance had contacted him and they said that you need to find another doctor and that they're not going to cover your surgeries here anymore. Now, mind you, I had to get approved for gap insurance at that facility, and it was just going to be like a big hassle because the facility itself was out of network. So, and he also told me that United Healthcare, which is the healthcare I have, will no longer be accepting gap insurance, and that started August 1st. So I was lucky I got approved for it before August 1st, or else I would have had a lot of issues. So he tells me I need to call my insurance to find out what's going on, because they're telling me I have to switch doctors because the facility is out of network and they will not cover any of my surgeries if it's done at that facility. And my doctor told me that the procedure I had done, the nephro-lithotripsy, that is the only hospital that has the equipment to do that type of surgery. So I was kind of shocked because I hadn't received any information from my insurance about this, and the fact that they told him first. I mean, I get he's a doctor, but someone needs to contact me. So the following week, and I called my insurance, and they said, no, you're fine for 6 more surgeries, you'll be good. So the following week, after I had talked to them, I got the information in the mail that says I have to switch doctors, that they're no longer going to cover the surgeries at the facility. They're no longer going to accept gap insurance. And then they give me a referral for a doctor. So they tell me what doctor I have to see, and they give me the number. So I'm kind of in shock. I am again like, okay, I got so close to being like done, or I mean, at least, I got to surgery and I worked so hard to get there, and I went through so much, and now this is kind of happening, and it's kind of like, again, something else is gonna go wrong. And so, I talked to my insurance again, and they said, that's just how it's gonna be. Like, I can't really appeal it. Basically they're telling me there's another way that we can get these kidney stones broken down, and you're not gonna be able to go to that doctor anymore, and you're not gonna be able to go to his facility. So I find out I'm pretty much shit out of luck, and that there's nothing I can do about it. So I called the doctor that they referred me to, and they said, well, you have to have a referral for in order to go to see our doctor, so that way your insurance will pay for it. So you need to have your PCP refer you to us, and then we can get you in, and it could be a few weeks. So because urologists for some reason are hard to come by, and they're always super booked, so we need more urologists in the world. Anyways, so I try to get all of my records ready and sent over and everything, and I'm not hearing back from them, and I'm getting a little pissed off, because I was supposed to have my second surgery. I forgot to tell you. So I was supposed to have my second surgery September 8th. I was down in the books for it, ready to go. And my doctor was holding my place for me, but then this all happened. And so the last week of August, I found out that that's just not going to happen. And it was kind of sad, because, I was really hoping to get a lot of these surgeries done before the new year, because insurance start over, then there's new deductibles and out-of-pocket costs and things like that. And in August I had already met like all of my deductibles, and so it was just like, what else, and this is why I usually wear my glasses, because you can see the bags in my glasses. Anyways, so I'm a little upset, I'm angry, I'm disappointed, I'm really pissed at my insurance, and by the way, United Healthcare is pulling out of Obamacare, but being that we now have a new president-elect, Trump, One of his things is to repeal Obamacare, so maybe something better will come along, I hope. So let's hope that, you know, Obamacare is no longer a thing and that coverage is a lot easier to get and isn't so much money. But anyways, like I said, I'm not a political channel or anything like that, but insurance is a huge thing that has to do with me not getting what I need, and my insurance is kind of screwing me around. So like I said, I called them, I got my records to them, and they're telling me they didn't see a referral, they didn't see anything. Then I get a call from my PCP and they said, well, he's retiring at the end of the year, so he's not taking any new patients, and your care is extensive because I have to have multiple surgeries, so he will not be taking you on. And I'm just like, oh my god. And the lady that I spoke with, I can't remember her name at the top of my head, but she was so sweet, and she kind of understood where my problem was, because, you know, it's my PCP office, they're not that huge. And so she goes, well, you know what, we have a urologist that we refer people to, and I know your insurance will accept him. You know, do you want me to try to get you in? I mean, she said it may be like a week or two, but you know, at least it's something. And I said, yes, definitely. I said, one less call for me to have to make where I don't have to call my insurance and find out who I'm supposed to go to, then yes, please, you know, be my guest. And luckily she got me in with their urologist, and she got me in the very next day. So I was very, very shocked to get a call from them not long after I talked to my PCP office, and they got me in, like I said, the very next day. And I was really super thankful for that, because they had seen like what they're dealing with, and they thought, oh my gosh, this woman needs to get in like quick. So the only downside is that they couldn't get all my records in time, and so they only could go by like a CT scan that was done like over a year ago. And so that was kind of like, ugh, you know, because obviously some of the stone has been gone. I did take the picture with me of the stone that my urologist took during surgery. So he kind of knew what he was dealing with, and I explained to him, you know, that the stone is hard on the outside but very soft on the inside, you know, and things like that. And he explained to me how he did his surgeries, which is just a lithotripsy, which is blasting of the stone. It's a less invasive surgery than the first one I had. So he seemed very optimistic. He did see, you know, that it is going to be a challenge. He told me it is going to be something that is going to take a few times to deal, you know, obviously multiple procedures, which I was prepared for, because I knew either way, no matter what, it was going to be multiple surgeries. So that was August and part of September, and I'm trying to shorten my videos for you guys because I know 20 minutes is a long time. But so I got a new urologist, very sweet guy. He doesn't look very much older than me. If anything, he might be even younger than me, but he's married, and just seemed really optimistic about everything, and kind of made me feel better. But you know, like I said, the end of the year is creeping up, and I just get really worried that, you know, next year I'm gonna be waiting until, you know, I'm gonna be waiting like 6 months before I can get anything done. So I need to start researching new healthcare, because yeah, we're coming to the end of the year, and United Healthcare is pulling out because so many people are actually using their insurance. So that's just the way it's gonna be. But so in my next video, I'll explain a little more about the lithotripsy and when that might happen. But thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. It means a lot to me that you're kind of on this journey with me, and that I'm not alone, because you know, with this journey comes a lot of depression and anxiety, and it's been a definite rough road being new to Texas. and really not having my friends there, you know, to be kind of help me cheer me up and things like that. I had a friend who was in the hospital a lot. He had cystic fibrosis. He passed away back in, it was 2010, and that's what this tattoo is for. Can't really see it. It's for my friend TJ, and he was in the hospital constantly. I mean, his ordeal was much more worse than me. I mean, he had 3 lung transplants. But you know, he had his Xbox, you know, set up at the hospital. We would try to visit him as much as possible. I mean, there were times when I would go up there almost every day, things like that, you know. So when you have that support, it's a little bit easier. But when your friends are in Arizona and California and kind of all over, it's kind of hard. So thank you so much, you guys. Again, I really appreciate it, and I hope you stick with me until the end. So I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.